Yo, what's good, Sixer Nation? You already know who this is. DFJ Hoops here, back again with another live stream. Oh my goodness. I got a good show today. A few reports that I'm going to be reacting to. A couple updates within the Sixers community, Sixer Nation. So, I just got to react to everything. Please, if you come in, please make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel too. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let me take a look at these comments right quick. Salute to my guy, One Mike in the building. Appreciate you, bro. He says keep it coming through. Nope. Bro, y'all funny, man. Salute to my guy Humble in the building, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Hey, Humble, like I said, bro, you had a hell of a week and you gotta take your rest the whole of next week. But I mean, I know you probably got other shit on the side, so you'll probably attend to it. But appreciate y'all for tuning in though. Appreciate y'all. Smash the like button as y'all come in and let's get right into it. So Ricky Council gets waived by the Sixers. I also have a Quentin Grimes update, and then we're going to also react to this report that says that VJ Edgecombe might be the Sixers' second best player by the end of next season. So that's what I'm going to react to. Now, there's a couple of things that I'm also going to be reacting to, a few minor topics that I might bring up or react to. So y'all just bear with me. So I want to start with the Ricky Council update, right? Now, Ricky Council got waived, I think, yesterday, right around 2 or maybe 3 o'clock, which I expected it to happen, right? I expected now. Am I happy that it happened? No, I'm not. But the Sixers had to get better. The Sixers had to do what was good for them. And like I always say, my allegiance is to the Sixers. So any move that they make that benefits the team, I'm always for it, right? Now I saw this coming because Ricky Council, number one, a 6'4", 6'3" guard, very athletic, but very limited skill set, very limited game in terms of shot creation, shooting. That's one of his biggest deficiencies on the basketball court. Now I watched Ricky Council play. I think last year was it last year in March in the G League. They were playing against the main Celtics, right? The G League team that's affiliated to the Boston Celtics. And I was able to watch him in person. I mean, the G League is nothing special. Like I always say, the G League, you don't get better in the G League, but he really impressed me with his athleticism. He also gives effort on the defensive side of the floor. But like I always say, his weakness is self shooting the basketball, shot creation, creating for others. And that was a big hole in his game. And he never was able to improve. Oh, sorry about that. But like I was saying, he was never able to improve on his game. Now you can blame the Sixers for that because the Sixers never developed him as a player. You can also put the blame on himself too. But I felt like he had a very impressive rookie campaign because Ricky Council was not drafted, right? If y'all remember, if y'all Sixer fans, if y'all remember, the Sixers had no draft picks in the offseason of 2023, right? So the Sixers picked up a few undrafted players. They were trying to go the same route as the Miami Heat, right? Because Miami is always signing these undrafted players. So the Sixers went the same direction. They picked up Terquavian Smith, right? If y'all can remember him, Terquavian Smith. They also picked up Ricky Council and a few other undrafted players, right? I'm probably forgetting a couple of them, but Ricky Council was, the best player out of all of those players. He had the most upside, in my opinion, even though he was undrafted, but he had the most upside, and I felt like the Sixers should have did more to help him develop as a player and as a talent, but it never materialized, right? Now he had a very solid rookie campaign, not anything special, but you could see that there was a lot that he had to put the work in order to get to the main roster, get to the main team. Now he did that, right? He did what was necessary for him to do in the G League. The G League is not anything special, but he was able to get his contract converted into a standard contract and got on the Sixers and he didn't really have a good sophomore season, right? Let's just say it how it is. He didn't really have a good sophomore season, and as of right now, like I said on Monday or Tuesday, whenever I did the last stream, other guards got on the team and they quickly outshadowed him, right? They quickly over, overshadowed him, right? And also the Sixers drafted VJ Edgecombe, so it kind of made it very, very tricky because the Sixers had a lot of guards, and some of these guards had to find their ways on other teams or find different situations, right? We just seen Lonnie Walker the fourth sign with another team. I mean, he went to the EuroLeague, right? So he went overseas, and then we just saw Jared Butler signed with the Phoenix Suns. Now I'm happy for Jared Butler because I really like Jared Butler. Now I knew he wasn't gonna have an opportunity on this team once VJ is playing and also once Jared McCain gets healthy. Because Jared McCain is a backup point guard, backup, combo guard for the Sixers next season. So it kind of makes it very, very difficult for a guy like Jared Butler to find a role or a spot on this team. So I really like him going to the Phoenix Suns. Now, if you take a look at Phoenix, now nobody's looking at Phoenix to be any top contenders next season because they don't have Kevin Durant, they don't have Bradley Beal anymore. So now you got Devin Booker and Jalen Green, who's going to be the starting backcourt for the team. So if you have Jared Butler coming off the bench, that would be very, very perfect for him, right? So shout out to Jared Butler and his new situation. I wish him nothing but the best. But Ricky Council, on the other hand, being waived, I don't see Ricky Council going far in this league if he still has the weaknesses that he has heading into next season. Because this league, if you can't really shoot the basketball, if you can't really put the ball on the floor and create opportunities for others and for yourself, you're not really going to have a job. And especially if you're not also good on the defensive side of the floor. And Ricky gives effort, but he's not really a lockdown defender. He's not really a great defender, right? He gives the effort, right? He shows up, he has quick hands, the athleticism is there, but the league, you have to bring more to the table than just athleticism. You got to have skill. You have to be able to put the ball on the floor. You have to be able to shoot and shoot consistently. And that's something that Ricky Council is not able to do. Now I can see Ricky Council, because he's undrafted, I can see him signing with the Miami Heat because Miami is always getting these undrafted players, and Miami's able to get the most out of players like that. Now, I've said in the past, the Sixers have one of the worst player developmental programs in the NBA. It's not a secret. It's a fact. The Sixers are one of those teams with the Brooklyn Nets, the Lakers, just to mention a few. But Miami, I think Miami could get the most out of a Ricky Council because players of his caliber seem to thrive when they get under that program. So I wish he could sign with the Miami Heat so I could see what he's capable of doing because he didn't get the opportunity with the Sixers. And especially with the Sixers being as terrible as they were last season, he sure as hell wasn't going to get those same opportunities. And sometimes when he got on the floor, it was very, very ugly, right? All he could do was, dunk in transition. He's very, very great in transition because he's able to get to the basket, able to get to the rim and show off his athleticism, which is very, very entertaining, very, very nice to see. But in a half-court setting, if you got to put the ball on the floor, create a shot, or if he's spotting up in the corner and you pass it to him and expect him to make shots from the corner, it's not going to be very good. It's not going to be very, very good for him. So the Sixers waiving him, I think it was a good thing because you create a roster spot for potentially somebody in the future. Or if you really want to sign Quentin Grimes to that long-term contract, which I'm going to get to in a very few minutes here, but I don't want to see him leave the NBA. I want to see him land a job. I want to see him get a job, especially with the Miami Heat. Like I said, Miami's able to get the most out of undrafted players. And with his athleticism, I think he would definitely thrive in the Miami Heat situation. So I hope he signs with the Miami Heat. Look, Big Toe talking his shit already, man. He said 76ers are bums. Period. Hey, man, shout out to Big Toe, man. Miami Heat fan. And he can definitely tell us how Miami can get the best out of undrafted players, such as, the Max Strus, Caleb Martin. Those players came under the Miami Heat program, and they had their best seasons with the Miami Heat. So I can see Ricky being as young as he is, being as hungry as he is. I think he definitely want to get another job with another team. So if he goes to Miami, that would be very, very perfect for him. But I mean, I don't know Miami's situation. I mean, Miami might have much players, or they might have a couple players that they're taking a look at. So they might not give Ricky Council that opportunity that I want him to have. So, but other teams are also available, right? Other younger teams are also available, but being undrafted is very, very is very, very tricky and very, very difficult to get a job because people are not really willing to give guys of that caliber any opportunities. If it's not the Miami Heat, I can't see another team giving them an opportunity. So, but Ricky Council, like I said, I really like them. You know what I'm saying? I really liked him as a player. Watched him. I felt like he had a lot to give, but he just needed an organization to bring that out of him. And the Sixers, unfortunately, were not able to do it. So, if he can get with another team, that'll be very, very great for him. So, Ricky, wishing him nothing but the best. Moving forward, I wish he could play for the Sixers, but the Sixers have too many guards, and he's just not going to get any rotation minutes. He's just not going to get any spots because at the guard position, you got Maxi. I mean, Maxi's a lock. You got VJ, who whether he's coming off the bench or whether he's going to start, you know what I'm saying, he's definitely going to be in the rotation. And then Quentin Grimes, who could potentially return to the Sixers and also start, in my opinion. And then you got Jared McCain, who's going to be the backup, the backup slash, backup combo guard, whether he's going to play the two or play the one. It's just no spots for Ricky Council, right? There's no spots for him, especially at the guard position. And at the forward position, you need somebody who can shoot, somebody with length, somebody with athleticism. Of course, he does have the athleticism, but he doesn't really have the length to keep up with some of these small forwards or just forwards in general, right? Forwards in general. So it's just no spots for him on this team. So it's better for him to move on to another situation and find a different team to be with. But currently it's just going to be difficult. Or he could potentially sign with the Detroit Pistons. I mean, because keep in mind, Paul Reed, who was with the Sixers, got cut, and then he ended up signing with the Detroit Pistons. So he could reunite with former Sixer players, Tobias Harris and Paul Reed, and he could go from there. But as of this moment right now, I don't think the Sixers would be a very, very good team for him to play on because the Sixers have too many guards on the team, right? And they got Eric Gordon, Kyle Lowry, and we all know Nick Nurse is going to favor those guys over Ricky Council, especially being young and undrafted. It's just going to be difficult for him. So, yeah, wishing him the best, whatever team he plays for. But let me not waste any more time. Let me just go on, move along. Salute to my guy, Teacher Got Game. Appreciate you. Honestly, I'm cool with trading Grimes for a first round pick. Okay, that's interesting. Salute to my guy, Rap Guy Reloaded. Appreciate you. Yeah, Ricky doesn't fit. He's not developed enough for the timeline. Yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, the Sixers don't really have a good developmental program. So if you're with the Sixers as a young player, you have to be doing a lot off the court. Like you got to put the work in off the court. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't put the work in off the court, but clearly, he didn't develop fast enough to be with the Sixers. So, and the Sixers have too many guards at this point. And in order to compete with these guards, you got to bring something extraordinary to the table. And I don't think he brings any of that. I mean, he doesn't bring anything more than what a Maxi brings to the table, a Quentin Grimes brings to the table, or even a Jared McCain or VJ Edgecombe, right? I think VJ and Ricky are kind of like the same in terms of athleticism, but clearly VJ can do more than a Ricky Council. I think as of right now, VJ is a better shot creator than Ricky Council. I think VJ is a much better shooter than Ricky Council, and defensively, I think VJ is a better defender than Ricky Council. So, if I'm to give anybody the edge, I'm giving it to VJ. So, and not that he just got drafted, and I'm trying to be, trying to be biased or anything, but it's just facts at this point. So, yeah, but that's what I don't want though. I don't want him to go overseas. Like I want him to be with the Miami Heat or any team that's going to give him the opportunity to develop. Because I think the Miami Heat brings the best out of undrafted players, and that could be the perfect situation for him, right? That could be the perfect situation for him. But unfortunately, being undrafted, if Miami is not giving you any opportunities, like it's going to be very, very difficult for any other team to give you any opportunities. So yeah, overseas might be the next place where he lands, but I definitely want to see him back in the NBA. Most definitely. But yeah, smash that like button as y'all come in. But let me move right along and go to Quentin Grimes. So we just had a Quentin Grimes update. Was it 2 days ago, yesterday, or whatever? He says Ricky takes too many ill-advised shots, like make the extra pass and cut to the basket. Ricky, that's it. Yeah, he does, and his shooting form is so terrible. He does take a lot of stupid shots sometimes, but sometimes when you're wide open in the corner, you got to take it. But the results of those shots determines whether you're going to be on the team or not. And sometimes the shot form is ugly, the release is ugly, and the result is most definitely not what the Sixers wanted. But yeah, like you said, I think he's better around the basket, better around the rim because his athleticism. He's also crafty to finish around the rim. But sometimes cut into the basket, like players don't really, they can't really time the best time to cut to the basket, and that really, I think that's something that was his issue too, because I've seen him in person. I can see him like in transition, like he can dunk over anybody. I think he had a huge dunk on somebody against the Portland Trailblazers, if I'm not mistaken, right? He can show off his athleticism in transition, but in the half court, if he's not cutting to the basket, he doesn't really have any. There's not much that he could do in a half court setting, right? Because the shooting is not good, his handles is not that good, right? He can't really create for others, so cutting is his only option, but he's not really good at timing his cuts. So that's also another thing that really hurt. That really hurt him, but maybe he can watch film, right? Maybe he can watch film and figure out what he was doing wrong and work on those. I think he has to move on from there, right? Because heading into year 3 as an undrafted player, if you really want to play long, especially in the NBA, those are things that you gotta figure out your weaknesses and start working on those. Otherwise, it's gonna be game over for you. So yeah, that was a good point. TG2, that was a good point. But moving on, so Quentin Grimes, I did a show on Quentin Grimes the last time saying that I really wanted him back on with his team. Now, Teacher Got Game don't really want Quentin Grimes on the team. He would rather the sign and trade to get a first round pick, right? Now, me personally, I think I want Quentin Grimes on the team, and I think he should be the starting two guard if the Sixers re-sign him. Now, I know the VJ Edgecombe logic, I get the VJ Edgecombe thing, but me personally, I want VJ to earn his spot, right? I want him to earn his playing spot, right? Uh the same way Nick Nurse did for Jared McCain, because Jared McCain had to earn his playing time. Nothing was given to him; he had to earn it. And even after he earned it, Nick Nurse was still playing Kyle Lowry and some of these other guys until I think Jared McCain had that explosive game against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I think he dropped like 35 or 36 points, and the Sixers were almost about to win that game, but Donovan Mitchell, being the superstar that he is, put his foot down and put the Sixers he put the Sixers away in the clutch, right? That's what superstars are capable of doing. But I think Jared McCain, he proved himself, but Nick Nurse still didn't give him that opportunity until he fully gained his trust before Jared McCain was able to play substantial minutes, a lot of minutes up until his injuries. But I want the same thing for VJ. Like, yeah, I understand you're the third pick, right? But you got to earn it though, right? You got to earn it. Nothing is giving. You got to earn it. And I think he did his thing in the summer league, right? He did his thing in the summer league, but to me, it wasn't enough, right? It wasn't enough. Now, comparing him to Jared McCain, I think Jared McCain didn't really have a good summer league last season. So, you know, penning into last season, like he had to earn it. But I think how many games have VJ played? 2, 3, 4? Because he was dealing with that thumb injury. But to me, it wasn't enough, right? It wasn't enough. Now I get the comparisons to Anthony Edwards. I get the comparisons to other guys, but I think VJ has to earn the spot. That's why I'm saying or advocating for Quentin Grimes to come back to this team and be the starting two guard. Now, if Quentin Grimes comes back and VJ is able to beat him for the spot, okay, cool, no problem. Then Quentin Grimes can come off the bench. But I think a player of Quentin Grimes' caliber, you don't let such players walk out the door, right? Because he can do more on both sides of the floor. I think as of right now, VJ Edgecombe is a little bit. Sixer fans, do not come for me. But I think I think Quentin Grimes does a little bit more on the offensive side of the floor more than the VJ Edgecombe, because I think Quentin Grimes can, he can put the ball on the floor, create his own shot, create for others, shoot the ball, and also play defense. Now, maybe his defense may not be to the level of a VJ, But what he brings offensively is all that the Sixers need, right? Somebody who could spot up and shoot, somebody who can create off the dribble, somebody who could work in pick and roll situations with Joel Embiid and create opportunities, not for Joel Embiid, but for others, right? And can also give you effort on the defensive side of the floor. I think that's what the Sixers really need, and that's a huge reason why I want Quentin Grimes to come back. Now, Quentin Grimes, like I said, he had one of four options to make this offseason. And Rap Guy Reloaded says, how did VJ do in the summer league? He didn't really play a lot of games, so the sample size is very, very little for me, in my opinion. But I think he did. Excuse me. I think he was pretty impressive. Right, he was pretty impressive. There was one game, I think the last game that he played, he was 0 for 6, 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. But in the second half, he changed everything and was more aggressive. Didn't really let him having a bad shooting night in the first quarter to bother him in the second. So that was a great sign from him. But to me, it's just a small sample size. I want to see more. Right, I want to see more. Now it was definitely a bigger sample size from college, but in the NBA setting, I just want to see more to go move forward and say, okay, he can be the starting two guard, or no, he should come off the bench. But I mean, me personally, I think he should come off the bench. So, in my honest opinion, VJ was confident shooting the mid range. He was and was drawing a lot of comparisons to Anthony Edwards. Right, he was getting a lot of comparisons to Anthony Edwards. People were saying that the shooting form is kind of similar, which I mean, I might agree. And he was also drawing comparisons to Anthony Edwards. Don't get me wrong, but I think that it's just too early to me. I think it's just too early. Let's just see him. Let's just see him in the NBA setting before we can make any comparisons of that of any kind, right? Because Anthony Edwards as a rookie was, he was busy. He was getting busy and got robbed of Rookie of the Year, but that's a conversation for another time. But yeah, as I was saying, I think Quentin Grimes had one of four options. I mean, one of three, to be honest with you. One of them is to, sign a short term deal or a 1 year deal and then wait to be an unrestricted free agent for next season and then see the offers that he can get from next season, right? Because as of right now, as a restricted free agent, nobody's really willing to give him the offer sheet. Like nobody's giving him any deals whatsoever. If they were, he probably would have been signed by now. So that was one option. Another option was to seek for the sign and trade, right? Seek for the sign and trade and try to get to another situation, or sign whatever the Sixers give him right now. But me personally, I think the best situation was to go for the sign and trade. Now, I heard people saying that he should go for the 1 year deal and then wait to be an unrestricted free agent next season. But that is very, very tricky because, anything could happen, right? Especially what happened from last season. Like, I'm not wishing that on him, but like anything could happen. And sometimes it's just unfortunate, but it still happens. So, but according to reports, he is more likely to, go for the 1 year deal and then, be the free, become an unrestricted free agent next season and then try to get offers from there. Which I mean, like I said, I think it's risky. I mean, for the season that he had last year, I mean, he didn't really have a season. He had a stretch, in my opinion. I mean, after the All-Star break, it's just a small sample size, right? But I think he did enough. He showed enough to get a very solid deal. But me personally, I don't think 25 million a year. It's just too much for him, in my opinion. Like I'm not. Yeah, you did your thing. You had a stretch where you were scoring 25 plus for like 8 or 9 straight games. Like you were doing your thing, but I mean, you were doing it on a terrible team, and it's not a bigger sample size. So I think that's why teams are hesitating a little bit before giving them that contract. But going for the 1 year deal, I think it's risky, but it could also end up being successful because we've seen players do the same thing and it was successful for them. We've seen players who did the same thing and it didn't really go too good for them. So it's just tricky, but whichever decision that he ends up coming to, I hope it's the best. I hope it's the best decision for him and his family. Tisha got game says teams want Grimes, but no one has the money, and they know the Sixers will just match it to keep him. That's true, right? That's true. But also, there are other teams that really have cap space, right? Utah has cap space. Brooklyn has cap space. Now, Brooklyn, I don't know what's going on with Brooklyn because I mean they have another restricted free agent on their roster, and they're not even willing to give him the bag. So, I mean, I think Cam Thomas is he's a he's a big deal, right? That dude is a walking bucket. He can put the ball in the cup in any way possible. But them being a little bit hesitant to give him the bag. I mean, I don't think they really want Quentin Grimes because I think Cam Thomas is a better scorer than Quentin Grimes. So if they're not willing to pay him, then I don't think they're willing to pay Quentin Grimes. But other teams have cap space. I mean, Phoenix has cap space because they got rid of two supermax players, right? Utah also has cap space. So there's teams that have the cap space, but I just think that they're not willing to throw give him that amount of money, in my opinion. But I mean, like you just said, I think we can give him 13 to 15. Yeah, that's reasonable, right? That is reasonable. But 25 a year, that's not it's not really it's not feasible for the Sixers, right? Because if you give him that, you're probably going to be in the second apron or even exceeding the second apron. So yeah, but we should sign and trade for Kuminga and Dean Wade. Ooh, I mean Kuminga, that's a good one, right? Going for Jonathan Kuminga, that's a good one. But will Nick Nurse play Jonathan Kuminga? Because people keep saying or people keep telling me that um Nick Nurse don't like playing young players. So I don't know about that one. But I think that'll be good to have a Jonathan Kuminga on this team, right? Jonathan Kuminga and VJ Edgecombe. Oh my goodness. That'll be that would be one of the most athletic teams in the NBA. But I think Jonathan Kuminga is a very very good young player. Unfortunately, we're not able to see what he's capable of doing with the Golden State Warriors because the Warriors is a Steph Curry system, right? So if you end up on Golden State, you will have to sacrifice your game to complement Steph Curry, and that's just the reality of it, right? It's just the reality of it. But I think if he's on the Sixers, he might be in the same situation, especially if Paul George and Joel Embiid, if they're both healthy, along with Tyrese Maxey, because he's not going to get enough touches. He's not going to get the rock a lot, right? So he's not going to be able to showcase what he's capable of doing. But if those two players are off the team, then yes, Jonathan Kuminga will be very very good for the Sixers, right? He'll be very very good for the Sixers. But I don't mind the sign and trade. I really don't mind. So if you go for the sign and trade, that means that VJ will be the starting two guard for next season, right? Even though I want him to earn the spot, if he gets it that way, okay, cool, no problem. But I think in return, you have to get somebody who could get on the Sixers and contribute immediately. I don't think you should get anybody who will be in the way or somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I think if we could do that and get a power forward, like a competent power forward, that'll also be good. Because I think Jonathan Kuminga is a three, right? He's a three. So I don't think if we can do it and get a power forward, that'll be great for us. Right? That'll be great for us. But me personally, based off what he did last year, I still think we need Quentin Grimes. And trust me, I wasn't the biggest Quentin Grimes fan. Like I didn't really like him. Right? I didn't really like him, but he proved something to me last season. I'm like, okay, that's all I needed to see. Right? That's what I needed to see. Even though it's a small sample size, whatever, but that's what I needed to see. So yeah, I might disagree with that because I really want him on this team. But I think for him, it'll be best for him because, going to a different team that's going to give you the opportunity to showcase what you're capable of doing, that'll be very, very perfect for him. But me personally, I'm always going to go for what helps the Sixers. What helps the Sixers? Like, what will be in the Sixers' favor? So, him coming back to the team and then helping us from a guard position, I think that really helps the Sixers. Now, he's not going to get the bag he's looking for, but it'll definitely help the Sixers. So yeah, but the 1 year deal, yeah, it definitely helps the Sixers a lot because you're not paying them too much. I think the highest they can give him is the 8.7 qualifying offer. So if they give him the qualifying offer and he's able to do or replicate what he did last season next year, okay, yes, he gets the bag. But I don't think he's gonna do that. because Maxi's going to be healthy. I mean, we don't know for Embiid, but either Embiid or Paul George is going to be healthy. One of the two is going to be healthy. So he's not going to be able to put up the numbers in order to get that. Oh my God, that's nasty. But yeah, if one of those two guys are healthy, he's not going to be, he's not going to get the ball and showcase what he's capable of doing. So you're not going to be able to pay him what he's looking for, right? Because you get paid based on the numbers, right? You get paid based on the numbers. Now, if you have multiple players that are on that level that can put up that same level of production, guess what? Your numbers is going to suffer. Your numbers is going to decline. So you're not going to be able to put up all those points that you were doing and get all those touches because you got other players on the team that are being paid for that type of production. Paul George is getting paid 50 plus million. Embiid is getting paid 50 plus million. So they're going to have the ball in their hands. So I think it helps the Sixers in the long run, in my opinion. So, but the sign and trade, yeah, it only work in the Sixers' favor if they get somebody who can get on the team and then contribute immediately. And I don't think like looking at the landscape of the NBA, I don't think the Sixers can get any player of that caliber right now. So yeah, teacher, like I might disagree slightly because I don't know if you do the sign and trade, I don't know who you are going to get for him, right? So that's the only reason why I would disagree. But Kuminga, I don't think I don't think Golden State is going to give up Kuminga like that. Not to a team that's really trying to win a championship. So yeah, but that's a good I like that point though. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, so if Grimes signs a qualifying offer, good. That really helps us. But Quentin Grimes has been trolling on Instagram and with his post and kind of taunting Sixer fans, giving signs that he's not going to return to the Sixers, and other times, he's showing signs that he might return to the Sixers. So it's just tricky. But they just have to come to an agreement and get this thing over with because we're in July, we're heading into August, so you definitely gotta gotta get this done so we can move forward, so these guys can work out together. This is the time you build chemistry. This is the time to build camaraderie, continuity, things of that nature. So it starts in the off season, and then it goes into the regular season, postseason, and things like that. So they have to get this deal. Just get it over with, man. Just get it over with. Smash the like button as y'all come in. Smash the like button. As we just discussed, Ricky Council the fourth getting waived. And the Quentin Grimes update. Now, the last thing for me to talk about is VJ Edgecombe, right? VJ, the third overall pick for the 76ers. In this year's draft. Now, there's a report that came out that says, somebody said that VJ Edgecombe might end up being the Sixers' second best player by the end of the 2025-2026 season. Now, when I first saw that, I thought it was very, very interesting because, people don't really come out making takes like that, right? Especially with the caliber of players that the Sixers have on the roster, right? You have Joel Embiid, you have Paul George, you have Tyrese Maxey. So if you make a take like that, that means that, number one, you don't think that Paul George and or Joel Embiid is going to be on that caliber for next season, or you believe that they're not going to play a lot of games because they're going to be injured for the most part of next season, right? Because nobody in their right minds is going to look at a rookie and say that next year he's going to end up being the second best player. So it's kind of disrespectful to Paul George and Joel Embiid. Now, I know Maxey's going to be, he's going to be there, right? He's going to be healthy. He's going to ball out, right? I'm not even worried about Maxey at this point. The only two players that I'm concerned with is these two players right here, Joel Embiid and Paul George. Those are the only players that I'm concerned with, right? Those are the only players. See? Oh my God. Rev guy, we can't be doing that, bro. We cannot predict injuries. We can't be doing that. But either way, I just wanted to read the article right quick and then react to it. So, let me just share my screen right quick and we're gonna get to it. Salute to my guy Blade in the building. Appreciate you. Trent Watford and Jabari Walker got to be decent because we need a power forward. Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't think. Do you really think that they bring what's necessary to the table from the power forward position? Because I don't think so. Right? I don't think so. Now we really need somebody at the power forward position because if Paul George got to play the four, like bro, this dude is getting hurt as of right now, right? He's getting hurt right now in the season. He's dealing with knee injuries, abdominal injuries, like all types of crazy shit. So we definitely need a banger at the power forward position, right? We need a banger at the power forward position, like somebody who's not scared to do the dirty work. That's what the Sixers really need at this point, and can also shoot the three, right? Somebody who could shoot. He's mid. Okay, all right, bro. The Tuna Sports always gonna come in here talk his shit. That's cool, bro. I get it. Not the championship recipe, but players that are power forwards in the past. What you mean by that? You mean Trent Watford and Jabari Walker are not championship worthy? Because I think Trent Watford, he's a very good transition player, very very good. He can make plays or create plays for others, but it's very very limited, right? And from the rebounding point of view or perspective, I don't really think he's that good of a rebounder, right? I don't really think he's that good of a rebounder. But again, I got to see enough sample size before I can come to that conclusion. But from what I've seen, right, with us playing against Brooklyn, because I mean, let's be real, who watches Brooklyn, right? Who watches Brooklyn? Nobody. So we didn't really get to see enough of him. But from the limited sample size that I saw from him last season, he's not really a good power forward. I mean, not a good rebounder. And that's something that the Sixers really, really need. Rebounding, athleticism, and guys who can shoot threes consistently. That is what the Sixers are really, that's what the Sixers really need at this point, right? That's what they really need because the Sixers last year, bottom five in rebounding. The season prior, bottom five or bottom 10 in rebounding. They really need rebounders. So if any of those two guys can give us, consistent rebounding, that would be very, very perfect for us and can also give you something offensively. We will definitely need that, right? Offensive rebounds, setting screens, setting flares, go screens, all that. Like we really need that. So yeah, but let me get to this. Let me get to this report right quick because when I saw it, I thought it was very very funny. So it says NBA executive says VJ Edgecombe might be the 76ers second best player by the end of the 25-26 season. 76ers rookie guard VJ Edgecombe is seen as a perfect fit for his new team, and some feel it won't take too long for him to emerge as one of the top options. ESPN's Jeremy Wu spoke to an NBA executive who projects Edgecombe to be one of the Sixers' best players in his rookie season. He says VJ might be Philly's second best player by the end of next season or by the end of the season, factoring Joel Embiid's uncertain health. As Eastern Conference GM said, he is that good and will thrive playing in Nick Nurse's system. The Sixers selected Edgecombe with the third overall pick in last month's draft, picking him over highly touted wing Ace Bailey. While Bailey's scoring ability led many to project him as a future star, Edgecombe's two-way skills made him more of a fit on Philly's roster, which is led by the star trio Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George. Now that's a very bold thing to say, considering Paul George going to be on the team, but the report didn't even say anything about Paul George. So they probably expect Paul George to take a back seat, right? Especially if Joel Embiid is not going to be playing a lot of games. But I don't think we should be expecting Paul George to take a back seat because, like I said, he's getting paid a lot of money, right? And getting paid a lot of money comes a lot of responsibility. So If you're gonna be healthy, if you're gonna be playing, you at least have to be the second best player on the Sixers. Now, if next season, if VJ Edgecombe ends up being the Sixers' second best player with Paul George being fully healthy, playing games, and not dealing with any injuries whatsoever, guess what? Paul George got to get cooked. He got to get bashed. Now, I know Sixer fans are going to give him the business. They've been giving him the business this entire offseason, right? But next year is going to be even worse. If he's healthy, playing games, and VJ Edgecombe outplays him. Now, I don't think VJ is going to outplay Paul George, right? I don't expect that to happen. Paul George is way more talented, is much better in year 16. He's going to be a much better player than a rookie VJ Edgecombe. He's going to bring more to the table if he's healthy. If he's healthy. But if it happens the other way around, then Paul George has to get cooked. He would deserve every criticism that comes his way, right? Because you're getting paid a lot of money and somebody in his rookie season ends up being the second best player. That's going to be very, very embarrassing. Now, I don't know Paul George. He seems like a cool person, doesn't really have an ego. But me personally, if I was in that situation, no rookie is going to be better than me with the skill set that I have, with what I bring to the table. There's no way. So whoever said that, I think it's a bad take, right? I think it's a bad take because Paul George has a lot to prove next season. So that's what I'm going off of. That is what I'm going off of. So, yeah, I don't think VJ can be the second best player on the Sixers. And in a way, y'all putting a lot of pressure on VJ, right? There's a lot of pressure that y'all putting on VJ. You know, he's a very good player, very respectful kid. He's what, 19, 20 years old, right? Stop. Like, let him earn it. Don't give him some. Let him earn it. Like, let's see it happen before you can go, like, you can move ahead and say that, oh, he's going to be the Sixers' second best player. Like, what did he show you? What did he prove in the summer league that proves or shows you that by the end of next season he could be the Sixers' second best option? I mean, the Sixers' second option or second best player. I don't think he showed me anything that could bring me to that conclusion. Right now, if you're going off his potential, okay, that's fine. But based off what you saw on the court, did you see anything that said that he could be the Sixers' second best option? I don't think so. Now, maybe Sixer fans might disagree with me, but no, I don't. I don't see that happening. So, that's definitely a bad take. I don't think he's going to be the Sixers' second best player by the end of next season. Not in his rookie season, right? Not in his rookie season, because he's not going to be better than Maxey. He's not going to be better than. I don't think he's going to be better than Jared McCain, right? And if Quentin Grimes returns, I don't think he's going to be better than Grimes. That's just my opinion. Right? That's just my opinion. So, that was a bad take, like I said. But let me react to a few other things. You know, appreciate y'all for showing up. DFJ Hoops, like, share, subscribe, and also hit the like button. Yeah, I don't know who Tune In Sports was saying was mid. I mean, Tune In Sports, you're gonna have to give us a lot more, bro. Are you really confident in Embiid's health long term or Embiid's long term health? I'm not really confident, but as of right now, I'm just going off what Daryl Morey is telling us, right? Just going off what he's telling us, and we just got to be optimistic at the same time, right? We got to be optimistic, but if you're going off his injury history, then yeah, you can't be confident. But I think you got to be optimistic at the same time, right? You got to be optimistic and hope that he can stay healthy for the most part. Maybe he's not going to play 65 plus games, but if you can get him healthy heading into the playoffs, I think that can really be beneficial to the Sixers. Right? That could be very, very beneficial to us. Why they keep Lowry and Gordon but cut Ricky Council? They tripping. Yeah, they is, bro. They is. And I mean I felt like they should have only kept one of the veteran players and let one walk, preferably Kyle Lowry, right? But yeah, that shows you. I mean, if you're undrafted player, right, you don't really have a lot of leverage. So yeah, that I mean, I think it's a bad decision because you don't you can't let young players walk. But the Sixers are doing Sixers stuff, so um, yeah, hopefully it's a good decision because if Ricky Council ends up thriving somewhere else, yeah, the Sixers are gonna look stupid. Ricky is mid. I mean, Tune, he's undrafted player. Like, what can you like? What more could you expect from him? Right? I mean, come on, bro. He has no expectations whatsoever. He was just like a diamond in the rough that the Sixers picked up in 2023, hoping that he could turn out to be something special. Well, unfortunately, things didn't go out that way. So yeah, if he's mid, okay, cool. But nobody said he's a one of the best guards in the league. Nobody said that, right? Nobody said that. Oh man, Tuna Sports funny, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Is he over? I think he is, bro. I think he's over Lowry, but he's not over Eric Gordon. Because Gordon, I think EG could definitely do more, but he got hurt at the end. And also, I mean, when he puts the ball on the floor and tries to get to the basket, it's just nasty to watch. But him being a shooter, he's a very, very good shooter. Like long range, catch and shoot, like he can really do it. Right. And that's very, very valuable to any team. Like somebody who could shoot the ball. And that's something that Ricky Council he lacks. He's not a good shooter. So yeah, the Sixers are definitely gonna prioritize who can shoot the ball better. And then, you got Lowry. I think that's gonna be his last season, year 20. And congrats to Kyle Lowry. I mean, a little guard playing 20 years, that's very, very impressive. Right? Very, very impressive. And he gets to end his career with his hometown team. So, shout out to Kyle Lowry. But yeah, I still wanted Ricky Council, but you know, as of right now, he has a lot of guys that's gonna replace him. Teacher Got Game says Justin Edwards is gonna be the next Ricky Council. You can bet on it. I really like Justin Edwards. Like I fuck with his game, right? I really like he does everything very, very well. He's not great at anything right now, but there's a lot of things that he does very, very good. Like, he can shoot, he can put the ball on the floor, he can create his own shot. He's left-handed, and he can also guard. He can also play defense. He's not a lockdown defender, but he's a very, very good defender in my opinion. I mean, I saw him last season, like taking on those assignments, guarding the best players on the other teams. Now, some players took advantage of him, right? I saw Damian Lillard cook him. I saw other players, do their things against him, but he still gave effort though. I mean, as a rookie, undrafted rookie, he wasn't supposed to be on draft. He wasn't supposed to go undrafted, but yeah, I really like him, and I think he can be that caliber player. I think he has a lot to prove. He really has a lot to prove in next season, his sophomore season. I think is going to be better than Ricky Council's sophomore season, in my opinion. So, and salute to RJ in the building. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. He says, finally, finally, the Sixers let go of. Finally, the Sixers let go of dead weight. Joel got to be next, though. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think it'll take time, right? It'll take time, but yeah, Joel definitely gonna be the next person. Yeah, both these players on the screen, they're gonna be the next to leave. But salute to RJ. But yeah, I think I gave my opinion. VJ being the second best player next season on the team, like I don't see that happening. If that really happens, I'll be so impressed. Like I would be so impressed. But yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. If Paul George and Joel Embiid are both hurt at the same time and not playing enough games, I think Grimes or even a Jared McCain or even Justin Edwards. I mean, we're not even talking too much about Justin Edwards, but I think Justin Edwards could be that guy, right? I think he could. Yeah, he says Quentin Grimes is better than Paul George. Yeah, that's funny. What you think of the Embiid article? Yeah, it was a very, very long article. He really opened up. I don't know why, but um, there are certain things that he said that I agreed with, other things I didn't agree with. But that article right there was people were saying that that could be the beginning of the end for the Sixers. That Joel Embiid might be looking for a trade. I mean, it could be true, right? It could be true, but he said certain things that made the Sixers look bad. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna agree to it, right? But that's from his perspective. But I thought it was a very very good article. Very very creative. The writer was very very creative. I think people are gonna steal his style, but there's certain things in there that I felt like was a stretch. Like Joel Embiid leaning against his piano and his long body. I'm like, bro, is this necessary? But overall, it was a good article, and I hope that Embiid, some of the things that he said, if he's going to be healthy next season, I think that could be, I hope that could be motivation next year, right? That could be it could be motivation from next year. But yeah, the article was very very creative. It took me like 2 days to finish the whole thing. Yeah, it took me 2 days to finish the whole drawing, bro. But I don't think a lot of people read the whole thing. But I did. Very, very creative. Agree with certain things. Disagree with a few other things too. But I mean, as of right now, like I don't really care about that. I just want to see him on the court. Like that's my main issue with Joel Embiid right now. Like I want to see him on the court playing. Yeah, it sure did. It sure did. It felt like a mystery book. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It was good, but yeah, like I was saying, I just want to see him on the court playing. I think that's yeah, you got everything off your chest. You have trust issues. You have this, you have that. You're dealing with this. You're going to therapy. Okay, cool. I just want to see you get back on the court, right? I just want to see him get back on the court. But yeah, I just hope that like from now, like anything that comes out about Joel Embiid is positive. That's what I'm hoping for. Like I don't want to see any setbacks. I don't want to see anything negative. Like I want him to head into training camp and head into season very like in a positive light. That's all I care about. Like I want to see you get back on the court. Like I don't care about. I keep telling people like I don't care about these players' personal lives. Like people when James Harden was on the team, people would ask me like, "What you think of his outfit? What he wore to the Christmas game against the Knicks?" Like people were telling me about his outfit. I'm like, bro, I don't care. All I care about is his production on the court. That's what I'm looking at, right? The production on the court, how you conduct yourself on and off the court. I mean, on the court, I care about it, but off the court, I don't really care, right? Now, if you're going to the club and coming back home at 5 a.m., 6 p.m., like, yeah, I'm gonna care about that because you definitely gotta rest, you gotta recover for the game tomorrow. So yeah, you gotta you gotta take the sport serious, you gotta take the team serious, you gotta take game serious. Like I care about that, but other stuff like who you're going out with, like no, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. So yeah, unless it's interfering with your production on the court, that's the only time I'm gonna care about it, right? If it's interfering, like James Harden going to the club and then staying up till 5 a.m., 6 a.m. when you got a playoff game against the Celtics, like yeah, I'm gonna care about that a little bit because we got business to take care of. So yeah, but other than that, I don't really care. I don't really care too much. Yeah, Joel has little excuses. Excuse me. Yeah, Joel has a little excuses. He has three bigs to back him up and three young players who can handle the scoring load. Just play like a rim protecting traditional center. I mean, I'm gonna agree to a certain point, but I think Embiid cares about his numbers. I mean, every player does, right? Every player cares about their numbers. They want to, because I think he don't want the narrative to be that he got carried, right? And that's something that he even said that in the article. Like if I, in the regular season average like 22, 23, and then go in the playoffs and average 35 or whatever, are they gonna call me a playoff riser? Like he did say something like that in the article. So I think he really cares about his numbers, right? He's top five in scoring averages, right? So he really cares about it. So If he's healthy, he would definitely want to be very, very dominant in the regular season, put up his numbers, get his numbers, and also win. So him being like that, Will Chamberlain, like play defense, rebound, and play make, and not score a lot. I don't see Joel Embiid making that sacrifice. I don't really see it, but I think that sacrifice could really help the Sixers, though, right? I think it could really help the Sixers. And, just get guys their confidence and then take care of business in the playoffs. But I don't think Joel Embiid is that caliber of player. He needs to play like David Robinson or Joakim Noah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, him being very dominant in the regular season, I don't think it matters anymore. Because I mean, he's proven that he can put up numbers, right? You've proven that you can put up Will Chamberlain type numbers in the regular season. Like you've shown that already. So now what matters is the playoffs. But I mean, again, people want to see dominance in the regular season, dominance in the playoffs, and dominance in the finals. So, you know, I totally agree. And B got to understand the Sixers hasn't won since Michael since Michael Jackson and Prince was beefing. Bro, Run DFC was running the rap game. We want to win. Absolutely, we want to win. But I mean, I think as much as we're calling out Joel Embiid, we got to hold that same standard to the guy on the right side, right? Paul George. We got to give him. We got to keep the same energy with him. So, but I mean, Embiid is the best player. He's the man. So, yeah, most of the responsibility is on his shoulders. But also, we can't forget about PG 8 ball Paul. So, but yeah, it's been the Sixers ain't won since 1980, 83, 84. So yeah, we trying to win. So yeah. Well, Joel stays healthy and averages 15, 10, and 10, and then turns it up in a final appearance. It'll be great. Yeah, it will, but people are not going to show him that respect though, because people want to see dominance in the regular season and in the playoffs. So, and Joel really cares about his numbers. Like he really cares about his numbers. So he would want to average 28, 29, or 30. He really cares about it. So, yeah. He says, honestly, give Joel 20 minutes and let Bona, Broom, and Drummond take the other 28 minutes. Damn, you're going to run a 4 or 5 center rotation? That's nasty. But, yeah, I see what you're saying. But, I mean, Embiid is getting paid, though. He getting paid the big bucks, so he got to play. That's what you're paying him for. Now, if you won the championship, yeah, you can, sacrifice the playing time and share it among the other centers and then get the most out of him come playoff time. But I mean, to me, I think he if he's healthy, let him play. Right? If he's healthy, let him play. But do not try to run him into the ground because he wants to get his numbers. Like, no. As a coach, you should take charge. Nick Nurse, you got to take charge, right? You got to prioritize his long-term health and not let him try to stress himself trying to get his numbers, right? Yeah, it's all about winning. Absolutely. He says PG will be fine when he gets more attention off him. Grimes, Maxey, VJ, and McCain will get all the attention, which will open the court up for Paul George. Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That is true. But me personally, I want to see Paul George like be a focal point in the offense too, right? I want to see him be the focal point of the offense too. So, because what you're saying, that's PG averaging what 14, 15, getting paid all that money, and I just don't want to see that, right? I'm not paying you 50 mil to average 13 or 14, right? So, yeah. Manage Embiid like Kawhi as long as he's good to go in the playoffs. Yeah, I think as of right now, that's the what you call it. That's the direction that they're trying to head to, right? That's the direction that they're trying to head to. And Kawhi Leonard was training all throughout the playoffs until the finals ended, right? To simulate how it would be, playing in the postseason and putting that stress on your body. So, I mean, we don't know what Joel is doing right now. I mean, but hopefully it's something that can help him come regular season time because this guy you gotta play, bro. You gotta get on the court and play. So yeah, I just want him to be healthy. I want everybody to be healthy. Like Paul George, I think PG might miss the start of the season again with the recent surgery or whatever, but um hopefully he can get healthy and get ready to go. Or if the Sixers are ready to trade him, just move him and we can see where we can go. That's where I'm at right now, but I just want to see these guys healthy and also the younger players too. Like we're not even talking about Jared McCain and Maxey. Like these two guys dealt with injuries in the last season. So moving forward, I just want to see them healthy. Right. I want to see them healthy. And Maxey had some things to say to the Sixer haters, people that criticized him, myself included. So yeah, I want to see him prove me wrong. That's all that I asked for. So yeah, but I'm getting ready to shut this down. And B got help, no excuses. What kind of help do you mean? You mean from the center position or from guys that could actually give you consistent offensive production, or like what do you mean by that? I mean, from the center spot, yeah, he does have help, but I think Janai Broom, and that's something that Teacher got game did say, but I think he's gonna have to go prove himself in the G League first, right? You're gonna have to go prove yourself in the G League before you can get on the court with us. So I think the center rotation is gonna be Drummond and Adambona, right? And me personally, I'm not too confident in Drummond from that position. I hope they can move him and get somebody more competent because I don't really trust him at that position. So if you're saying he has help from the center position, that's not true. But in terms of guys who could, give you consistent offensive production, yeah, I agree. And Embiid is not supposed to be averaging 30, right? You don't have to. You can, but it's not necessary. Like we need that. We need those 30 points per game in the playoffs, not in the regular season. Like you did that two seasons in a row. You won the scoring title. That's fine. That's cool. But we just need to see it in the playoffs. We just need that in the playoffs. Let me put it that way. Nah, Maxie got to show the fuck up. You paid now. I seen a lot of breaking and missed layups. RJ, that is true, and that's something that I talked about. I think last week. Like Maxie, when he plays, especially when he's driving to the basket and trying to finish. Like he's trying to finish over his primary defender, guys that is guarding him. He's trying to take on that guy. He's also trying to take on the guy who's in the gaps and also trying to take on the center who's rotating from the weak side to block the shot at the rim. And you can't finish over three guys. Like it's not going to happen. So in situations like that, you got to be a very, very decent playmaker, a very, very good playmaker. And in today's game as a guard, you got to be able to be a playmaker too. So if you're able to make those reads, make those passes, guess what? It even opens up the court for you because the other team cannot cheat off of nobody. So maybe the center who's rotating from the weak side, maybe he's not going to rotate because guess what? They know that you can make those reads and make those passes into the corner, into the weak side, and hopefully make them pay from those positions. So yeah, that's something that we want to see. But again, Maxey, him missing threes, if they're good players on the court that can add space, guess what? I don't think he's going to miss that many shots because he had his best 3-point percentages when Embiid and James Harden was on the court because those guys were taking attention off of him. He had a lot of catch and shoot opportunities, had a lot of wide open threes, and he was just making them from the corner, top of the key, above the break. Like he was making those shots. But now when he had to be the primary ball handler and not have to rely on Joel Embiid and James Harden, guess what? Defenses are loading up against him, making it very, very difficult, contesting every shot, chasing him around the floor, making it difficult for him, and it's just hurting his percentages. But I think if Paul George and Joel Embiid, if they're on the floor at the same time, his percentages are going to be way better, right? Because you gotta keep you got to focus on Paul George and Joel Embiid too. So, but if he's gonna be playing with scrubs, the 3-pointers is not gonna get any better. Oh man, he got 2 All-Stars, Grimes, who's underrated, and had an All-Star type season last season and a top pick. Quentin Grimes did not have an All-Star type season. Tune in sports, stop. He did not. That's not true. He had a stretch where he was playing very, very good basketball, putting up numbers, but that was on a terrible team. That's a small sample size. You can't go off of that, bro. That's nasty. That's nasty work, bro. Stop it. I want Janai Broome to be more of a power forward than a center, but he got to increase his pace. Yeah. I mean, I think he's built as a power forward and not as a center, in my opinion. But he was really shooting the ball, the 3-pointer in the summer league. He was really I was really impressed, right? I was really impressed. But I don't think that, like I said, I don't think he's gonna get minutes next season. Only after he proves himself, right? Because he was drafted from the second round, so you got to go prove yourself. Paul Reed proved himself. Other guys proved themselves. Justin Edwards, he had to prove himself. Even Ricky Council, who got cut, had to prove himself in order to get a standard contract. So I just want to see him prove himself, earn it, and then you can come over here and then, we can see where you fit at. But yeah, I agree. I think he's more of a power forward. That's my opinion. Yeah, that's it. He had a run, like a insanity run. That's it. They didn't want no all-star caliber season, bro. That's nasty. See, and he laughing like, bro, come on, bro. Yeah, tune in sports. He know what he doing though. He know what he doing, bro. That's just Grimes is overrated us. Yeah. Last season was cool because I mean, bro, you're playing against teams that are not even scouting you. Like teams didn't really game plan for the Sixers like that, so because they knew they were going to beat the Sixers anyway. So he had the freedom to go over there. I mean, go put up shots, have all the touches in the world, jack up shots, and get his numbers. Like we all saw it. It wasn't no all-star caliber season. Like, come on, bro. We not doing that. Now, Quentin Grimes is cool. Don't get me wrong. He's cool. But, nah, all-star caliber season, nah, that's not what he had. That's not true. That's absolutely not true. So we not doing that. But if he plays for his next season, guess what? He's not going to have those type numbers. He's not going to have the touches. And just like George Niang told him, right? Just like the minivan told him. The only reason why you're doing what you're doing is because Joel Embiid and Maxi's not on the court. If Embiid is on the court, you would be in the corner. If Maxi's on the court, you'd be in the corner. So, yeah. Yeah, that was Ace Bailey's dream. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He cool, but he ain't worth 25. Yeah. I mean, I'm not giving him no 25 M's. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. For that small sample size of games that you gave me, no. Hell no. Again, you're trying to deflect. Just listen to what George Niang said. Don't look at him as a player. Yeah, we know he's not on his level, but what he said, was it true? If Maxey and Embiid was on the court, you're not going to be putting up these numbers. That's facts. And he had no rebuttal for that, right? He was at the free throw line. He had no rebuttal. I mean, he did say something, but he wasn't mic'd up, so we didn't hear what he said. But I mean, how do you come back from that? Like, there's no rebuttals for that. There's no rebuttals for that. But yeah, I'm getting ready to close out. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support from the Sixers Nation. Appreciate you, RJ. Appreciate you. Teacher got game. Also, Rap Guy Reloaded was in here. Salute to you, bro. And a few others. My guy, One Mike, who's a Boston Celtics fan. He said we played a game with Maxey and Embiid and Grimes and still lost. That's true. That's true. But Yeah. All right, Jay, have a good day. Yeah. RJ, I got you. Have a good day too. It's pretty hot outside. Make sure you fully hydrated. It's hot as hell outside, so yeah, but appreciate y'all for tuning in. I got a show on Monday, so appreciate y'all. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.